looks like we are live. Hopefully. Cool. Alrighty, so we are on the very last level of the CompTIA A+ study program from the developer Coco on the Play Store. If y'all haven't yet checked them out, in the description I have a link directly to this application. It's done me really well. I've learned a lot. The way that it teaches is pretty good. So without further ado, I'm going to go into level 11 so we can go ahead and get this done. And then we'll go ahead and review all the other stuff. I have a list of all the things that I need to go over, some of the memorization type of things. So let's see here. Cool. What is the unit of measure used by manufacturers of projectors to indicate the brightness of their product? Lumens, right? Candelahs, no. Lux, no. Watts, power. It's lumens. It's a unit of measure for the total amount of visible light that the projector gives off, based solely on what the human eye can perceive. So a thing that I like to do is some of the questions that are on these, I like to go ahead and look them up and see if it is something else. Like Candelahs and Lux, didn't know about them, so I want to look them up just so I have that general knowledge. And in the future, if it ever does come up for some reason on the official test, then I know what that thing actually is. It helps a lot, actually. So Candelah is the SI base unit of the luminous intensity, that is, luminous power per unit solid angle emitted by a point light source in a particular direction. Okay. So that sounds familiar to, let's go, yeah, see? Versus lumens. If a light source emits one candela of luminous intensity uniformly across a solid angle of 1 steradian, the total luminous flux emitted into that angle is 1 lumen. Okay. So 1 candela of luminous intensity. The total luminous flux emitted in that one angle is 1 lumen. Okay. Let's go, I'm getting what it is. So it looks like, alright, one says lumens, another says lux, and the last one reads about Candelah. Those are all the ones that we had on that question. So Candelah, also commonly called candle power, is the base measurement for describing luminous intensity, which tells you how bright the light source is, which shows how far away from the object you can be and while still being able to see it. Lux measures illuminance. So this one describes the luminous intensity, and this one measures the illuminance, which is the amount of light on a surface per unit area. A single lux is equal to 1 lumen per square meter. So lumens is a measurement of luminous flux, which is not like the other ones, okay. Or the total amount of visible light. To put it simply, the lumen rating is how much total visible light is produced by a light source. A good way to remember the differences between the terms is lumens are how much light is given off, lux is how bright your surface will be, and Candelah measures the visible intensity from the light source. Oh, okay. So unit of measurement, unit of measure used by manufacturers of projectors to indicate the brightness of the product. So that's how much light is given off, lumens. So lux is how bright the surface will be. See, that makes me think of like the paper that lights up. I always forget what that's called. But there's like this film, this really thin film, almost like a plastic thin plastic film, and that one lights up with when you give it some kind of power. So that always makes me think of the surface. So how bright your surface. So this is how bright the surface is lux. Candelah is the visible intensity from the light source. So the Candelah can be different from the lumens. Okay, interesting. Okay, so we learned something there. It takes a while when I'm going through them. If there's a couple things I don't know, I'll start researching and then it gets a little bit off topic. But it helps me learn. So I don't know if it helps you guys, but definitely helps me learn a little bit. Let me adjust a couple things here. Got cables going everywhere. I want to make sure these are out of the way. Alright, cool. Your company wants to move a cloud provider to be able to scale resources quickly, but is concerned about the security of the confidential information. Which of the following types of cloud models might be the most appropriate for your company? So I would say private, because it's private. Let's see why. Oh, okay. So it's not private. A hybrid cloud provides the best of public and private clouds. You get the scalability and cost effectiveness of public cloud, but the security you need for important files on the private portion of the cloud. Okay. Ah, okay. Concerned about the security, wants to scale. Okay, so if they weren't too concerned about the scaling and it was all just about the security, then private would be the one. But since you want to scale it, public cloud would be the most scalable but doesn't have much security. And then private. Okay, cool. So maybe this is something I need to add to my list. So got a nice little list on Google Keep. No, not Keep Vid. Google Keep. Let's see. Cloud provider types. Alright, let's go to the next one. Robin has been asked to lead training for new technicians at a local PC distributor specializing in gaming PCs. For which one of the following should she not recommend upgraded parts? Okay, so she has been asked to train for new techs for a distributor which specializes in gaming PCs. Which of the following should not be recommended upgrade parts? A better sound card, high-end cooling, high-end video, a RAID array. So with gaming, high-end cooling, if you have like a overclocked processor, which is common, high-end cooling would be good. High-end video is obvious, you want to have the best graphics for that. Sound card, you want to be immersed in it. I would say that one too, because the only two it's between is a RAID array and a sound card. And honestly, a RAID array isn't that important for a gaming PC because you're just running games off of a hard drive. You really don't have to deal with backups and redundancy of your data and all that. So I would go, which one of the following should she not recommend? It'd be a RAID array. There you go. So you're setting up a small office network for a client. Which internet service would you recommend to provide the best speed? So DSL, dial-up, satellite, BRI ISDN, or PRI ISDN? Okay, so the most common... So dial-up is obviously not the best speed. It's going to be super slow. DSL is it's really close behind it. Satellite could be faster than those two, however there is a lot of latency, so it would have to be between PRI and BRI ISDN. I'd go with PRI. In the US it's the most popular one, and it's DSL. Okay, So of the options listed, DSL provides the fastest speed. DSL can provide 12 megabits per second. Dial-up is limited to 56 kilobits, and Pri ISDN 128, and Pri about 1.5 megabits per second. Don't even come close. Oh, okay. See, I was thinking of this past question, if I'm going to start making excuses, about how like Bri and Pri are the most common used for it, but okay. I mean, that makes sense. I know dial-up was going to be a no, but okay. So out of those, satellite is also much slower than DSL, 12 megabits. I mean, I've seen satellite that actually goes faster than that. Just that latency is a lot slower. But okay. Alright, so just remember that Bri ISDN has a max of 128 kilobits per second, which is, excuse me, not that much higher than dial-up. With the closely behind it, Pri ISDN would be 1.5. Okay. Satellite is also much slower than DSL. So I'm guessing they're trying to say that satellite's between 1.5 and 12 megabits per second. Like, let's say 5, which it happens. I mean, I've seen it, but I don't know. I don't know about that one. Which of the following is possible to do with multi-monitor settings? Okay, so I'm guessing they're talking about whenever you have 2 monitors, you can do extend, duplicate, all that other stuff, right? So which of the following is possible? Display different parts of your desktop on different monitors? No. Cause 2 different desktops to merge onto the same monitor? I think there is a split option on laptops. Okay, connect 2 laptops together so they display the same desktop. No. Connect multiple monitors to your computer by only using 1 graphics adapter with 2 video interfaces. So connect multiple monitors, okay, to your computer, okay, only by using a graphics adapter with 2 video interfaces. That'd be with the hardware, not with the actual multi-monitor settings, right? So, display different parts of your desktop. Not it. So it's between the last one and this one. Cause 2 different desktops to merge onto the same monitor. Man, I got a feeling it's gonna be this one. Because this one, I'm sure they're going to say, like, oh, it's not possible. But it causes 2 different desktops to merge onto the same monitor. But I'm pretty sure there's like a split view. And I don't know if they consider it a different desktop. I'm going to go with this one. Display different parts of your desktop on different monitors. What? The multi-monitor feature allows 2 monitors to display the exact same thing, clone, or to extend your desktop onto a second monitor. Okay, there's no need to use 1 adapter to achieve this result. In fact, 2 adapters don't even have to use the same expansion bus architecture. The 2 cards must, however, use the same graphics adapter driver. What? Okay, which of the following is possible to do with multi-monitor settings? Allows 2 monitors to display the exact same, but how? Display different parts of your desktop on different monitors? But this, like, doesn't match up. Or to extend the desktop onto the second monitor. Display different parts. So it's considering. I don't like how these are worded sometimes, but whatever. Which of the following statements about dual-rail power supplies is least true? Okay, to be completely honest, I really don't deal with dual-rail power supplies much, so we are going to see what this is and see if it sparks up anything. Is there any difference between getting a single? Okay. Let me see if by images. Okay, so there's no image that's actually okay, honestly, two separate power supplies in the same box. If each rail can say, oh, okay. Alright. Dual rail power supply feature most of the same connections as a single rail supply. That's true. Dual rail power supplies are less likely to be overdrawn by connected components. I would say that's true because there's double the power theoretically, right? Dual rail power supplies have electricity separate 12 VDC connections. Don't really know. Dual rail power supplies typically support more cumulative amperage than a single rail. I would say dual rail power supplies have electrically separate 12. I'm gonna go with this one. So it's actually are less likely to. Okay, so one drawback to dual rail power supplies is that despite the fact that they supply more cumulative power, they offer less power on each individual rail than a single rail of the other power supplies. As a result, it is easier to overdraw one of the two rails than it is to overdraw a single rail power supply. Okay. Don't deal with those much. Honestly, I still don't know what it's all talking about. So I'm gonna add that to the list. Dual rail power supplies. Alright, so which of the following are universally common items that are synced between mobile device and a larger computer? So what are commonly synced between mobile and a desktop PC essentially? Choose 3. Email, configuration settings, no, because those are different. Office documents, contacts, operating system files. Email, usually. Contacts, and these vary, so I don't think I don't believe they're going to be able to sync up configuration settings. I mean, different devices configurations more than likely different, so I'm gonna go with office documents. Where the hell was apps? Did I have to scroll for apps? Awesome, totally did not see that. So the items most often able to be synchronized are contacts, apps, email, photos, music, and videos. Not documents though. Man, okay. I'm just gonna have to scroll for everything now. A firewall operates by using a set of rules known as what? Access Control List. ACL. One of your users claims that their hard drive seems to be running slowly. What tool can you use to check to see how fragmented the hard drive is? Disk defragmenter. There we go. You are setting up a small network that will not connect to the internet. You want computers to be able to locate each other by using host names. What service will do this? That would be, so a PIPA is if you can't find the DHCP server. DNS, domain name servers, that would be if you're connecting to the internet. FTP is for file transfer, so it would have to be DHCP. Oh my gosh. Makes me feel stupid. Okay, why was I wrong? DNS is typically known as the name resolver on the internet, but it will work on private networks as well. DNS resolves host names to IP addresses. DHCP will automatically configure clients with IP address information. So it was only half of the story, right? FTP is for file downloads. PIPA is a process used to assign clients a private IP address automatically when they can't reach the DHCP server. So I was halfway there, right? Okay, so DNS, they'll work on private networks as well. So DNS is what you want to use to have computers be able to locate each other. Okay, which type of resource do you configure in Device Manager? Hardware, right? Like your your hardware. Not applications, not your memory. Files and folders would be in like File Explorer, so I would say hardware. There you go. You have recently installed a home server PC in your home so that all of your family members can share media. You have a router and network cabling that supports gigabit Ethernet. Why should you equip a home server PC with a gigabit NIC? To allow multiple connections at the same time, and so they all go super fast. So the server should exceed the communication speed of the clients to avoid a bottleneck. The operating system that home servers run is not compatible with gigabit, no. The server should not be allowed to communicate at the higher speeds of the rest of the network or it will be overused, no. All systems, including the server, should communicate at the same speed, no. So why should you equip a home server PC with a gigabit NIC? Should exceed the communication speed of the clients to avoid a bottleneck. So it is to avoid a bottleneck. The server should communicate across a link that is aggregate of all the client links, but at the very least, the server's link should be a faster one to alleviate a potential bottleneck when all clients try to access the server at the same time. How many characters are in a Windows 8 product key? Ooh, I haven't put one of these bad boys in a while. I think they're in like 1, 2, 3. I think they're in 5 character sets, and then there's 4, maybe 5. I'm gonna say 25. Hey, so there's 5 5 sets of 5 characters. 25. Cool. Which of the following can be used in Linux to download patches for installation on a workstation? apt-get can be used in Linux to download files including patches. What does it stand for though? For knowledge. Advanced packaging tool, and then -get option is, I'm assuming, for the optional get. Okay, which of the following best describes a hybrid drive? Hybrid drive, from my understanding, is half solid state, half hard disk, right? Oh, hey, there it is. Let's see what the other ones are, though. A drive that has a SATA interface as well as another one? No. A drive that is partially internal and partially external? No. A drive that can be used with Windows or Mac OS? Not necessarily. So, yay! Cool. So you have been asked by your manager to brief the group on security appliances. What is the difference between IDS and IPS? Ooh. Security appliances. I don't know those acronyms. Let's see. IDS versus... If IPS is a control tool, then IDS is a visibility tool. Oh, intrusion detection systems. Okay. Sit on the side of the network monitoring. Let's take a deeper look here. Okay, IPS is not the same as IDS. However, the technology that you use to detect security programs is an IDS. Is very similar to the technology that you use to prevent security problems in an IPS. So, an IPS is best compared to a firewall. So intrusion protection compared to intrusion detection. Okay. IDS is passive. IPS is... Oh, I remember this from like college. Faintly. Because it called it active and passive. So detection would be passive. IPS protection would be active. Right? Yeah. Intrusion detection and intrusion protection. Okay, so IDS monitors internal traffic, network traffic, and IPS monitors come from the internet. IDS monitors traffic coming from the internet, and IPS monitors internal. I'll say IDS is passive, IPS is active. IDS devices are passive. They will detect, log, and perhaps send an alert, but that's it. And IPS can take active steps to shut down an attack if it detects one. Both devices will monitor internal network traffic as well as incoming traffic. There you go. So in addition to right-clicking on the desktop, how else can you access display settings? Okay, so Control-Tab, Control-Escape, no. Using the system icon under Control Panel or using the display icon under Control Panel. Go with display. What type of expansion slot is preferred today for high-performance graphics adapters? PCI. E. Express. Okay. After installing the operating system, what does Windows 7 require in order to curb software piracy? Substantiation, activation, confirmation, certification. Activation. By putting in the product key. Alright. Which of the following is a socket technology that is designed to ease insertion of modern CPUs? Dang, I forgot this one. What is designed to ease insertion of modern CPUs? Socket 13. Oh, line PID grid array. Oh, maybe it's the opposite, right? Okay, so it's ZIF. So ZIF sockets are designed with a locking mechanism that, when released, alleviates the resistance of the socket to receiving the pins of the chip being inserted. Make sure that you know the socket types so that the appearance of a specific model, such as 1366, in a question like this does not distract you from the correct answer. Only LGA would be another acceptable answer to this question because a lack of pin receptacles, there is no insertion resistance. However, no other pin layout formats such as SPGA addresses issues with inserting chips. LPGA may have invoked an image of LGA, leading you to that answer, but the term means nothing outside of... Oh, ha! Alright. See, I knew it was like line grid array or something, so they got me. Got you. Alright, so ZIF sockets are designed with a locking mechanism. Okay. SPGA addresses issues with inserting chips. Okay. Which of the... Let me just look that up. I want to see how it looks like. To have a mental image. Okay. So is it the name of the handle? A type of socket for mounting electronic devices that is designed not to stress or damage them during insertion. Zero insertion force. For dip. Okay. Cute. Gotcha. Okay. Which of the following can you do to help eliminate security problems? Select all that apply. Update network devices, update your operating systems, establish your security policies and procedures, update your applications. So this one for sure. Eliminate security problems. I'm gonna say all of them, but those for sure. No scroll, so it's all of them. Cool. Which Windows Vista feature allows you to recover from an accidental deletion or overwrite? No scroll. So BitLocker is to encrypt. Shadow copy, I'm guessing, is the best one, because that shadow copy makes a backup of your files, if I'm not mistaken. User access control, no. Security center, no. Shadow copy is a Windows Vista feature that allows you to recover from accidental deletion or overwrite. Yeah, that's what I figured. Transmitting at 10 gigabits per second, how far can signals on an MMF cable travel? MMF, is that, it's fiber optics, right? Yeah, okay. So it's a long ways, so it's over a kilometer, more than meters, so I'm gonna say 40. What? Multi-mode fiber can transmit up to 550 meters, depending on the Ethernet specification. Other standards using MMF can transmit only up to 300. If you need to transmit up to 40 kilometers, you would need to use single mode can travel up to 40. Multi-mode. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember this one. Multi-mode is like the in and out. Okay. Got it. In general, how often should you update your antivirus definitions? Every second. I'm kidding. I would say the soonest as possible, so I'd say once a week at least. As a security administrator for your organization, you must be aware of all types of attacks that occur and plan for them. Which type of attack uses more than one computer to attack the victim? Distributed denial, a DOS, a worm, or a UDP attack? Distributed denial of service uses a whole bunch of requests from a bunch of computers. UDP attack, I actually haven't heard of much. I think it's made up, to be honest. I know what UDP is. Okay, so it is a type of DOS attack using the UDP, so the user datagram protocol. So it would just be a DOS, not a distributed denial of service. So let's go with DDoS. A computer using which of the following could be considered a legacy device? Choose all that apply. Okay. Device. So an application is not a device, which I consider a device hardware, right? So I'm gonna go with the old processor. I mean, there's modern devices that only use a gigabit of RAM. To be completely honest, I don't know what the IPX SPX protocol is. Inter-network packet exchange. So that's not even hardware. There's no scroll, so damn. An application, that's not, look, a legacy device. What's your response, app? So a legacy systems are ones that use older hardware, software, but a device I consider, oh my gosh, the wording. I take things literally. A system with only 1 gig of RAM might be underpowered, but that in and of itself does not make it a legacy system. Oh my gosh. It said legacy device. They should have just... introduced 34 years ago. Based on XNS. Purpose LAN. Implementations. So it was used with DOS, Windows, because of IPX and SPX's prevalence in LANs in the 1990s. Microsoft added support for the protocols in Windows network stacking. When did it die? Microsoft provided a basic network client with Windows 95 and later, but it was not automatically installed. So by 95 it died out. Okay, so legacy. IPX usage has declined in recent years as the rise of the internet has made TCP/IP ubiquitous. So TCP/IP took over. Alright. Hate the wording. Totally hate the wording, but it's common with all these questions and stuff on these CompTIAs. They always try to get you with the wording and stuff. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I have to check some emails here. 1 second, guys. Okay, alright. What category of adapter would you need to install to equip a system with 1 or more USB ports? What category of adapter? Oh, okay. Input output is what I'm leaning towards. Communications would be like a LAN port. Video would be like VGA, DVI, HDMI. Multimedia would be like audio, like an audio jack. So input output. What are the 2 advantages that TCP has over UDP? The acknowledgement of delivery, I know, is one. It's not faster. UDP would be faster because it doesn't have to acknowledge. Lower overhead and virtual circuits. Virtual circuits. If I remember correctly, it makes a virtual circuit, right? Yeah. Connection-oriented protocol that establishes virtual circuits and acknowledges delivery of packets. Because of these features, it has higher overhead than UDP and is a little slower. So I figured. Alright, 1 second, guys. I gotta go get some water. Alright. Which Linux utility can be used to check and repair disk? FS check. File system check. Check disk is for Windows. Yeah. Which version of Windows 8 include Windows to Go? Choose all that apply. You would think that Pro would have it, right? 1 second, y'all. Maybe I should have just left the music on, right? I was just like complete and total silence there for a second. I apologize. Alright, so Windows to Go is only on Windows 8 Enterprise. Okay. Let's look this up. Really don't use it much, so. Hey now. It says that it's a feature in Windows 8.1 Enterprise, Pro, and Education. Who's right here, huh? Trying to figure out why Wikipedia says that it's on others. See how to geek. Windows to Go feature installed Windows as a live system on a bootable USB drive. It's officially only on Enterprise editions. But there's workarounds. Of course, there's always workarounds. So, but officially, it's only on Enterprise. Okay. Gotcha. Officially only on Enterprise. Hey, at least the green bar is bigger than the red bar, right? I'm not that dumb, and I'm gonna learn them anyways, so. You have enabled Wi-Fi calling on your new mobile device. You are on a cellular call within your Wi-Fi network's range, and you lose a cellular signal. What happens to your call? Really haven't dealt with this much, so I'm pretty sure I might get this wrong. But let's see. The phone will beep at you and then switch to Wi-Fi. It will seamlessly switch over to Wi-Fi. It gets dropped. The phone will beep at you, and then you need to tap to confirm. Again, I've never used it. I figure you are on cellular and you lose cell signal and it goes to Wi-Fi. For it to transition and for it to just and for you to just lose a cell network, I figure it gets dropped and then you have to switch over to Wi-Fi calling. And it seamlessly switches over. Okay. So when Wi-Fi calling is enabled, calls will seamlessly switch from cell to Wi-Fi if you are within a range of the Wi-Fi network of which you are a member. Okay. Which type of adapter has an RJ11 jack built in? A modem, right? Video, no. Sound, no. It's between NIC and modem. So it's a NIC would be for Ethernet, RJ45, and a modem, RJ11. Yeah. Alright, so you discovered that an expired certificate is being used repeatedly to gain logon privileges. Which type of attack is most likely to be? Backdoor, a replay, man in the middle, TCP/IP hijacking. So if you're going around authentication, it would be a backdoor. I'm not too familiar with the replay attack. Let's see what that is. Is known as a playback attack, is a form of network attack in which a valid data transmission is maliciously and fraudulently repeated or delayed. Ooh. Could it be that? Valid data transmission is maliciously or fraudulently repeated or delayed. This is carried out by the originator or an adversary who intercepts the data, retransmits it, and possibly part of a masquerade attack by IP packet substitution. So the question is, can a certificate count as a valid data transmission? I'm gonna go with the replay. Attempts to replay the results of a previously successful session to gain access. Okay. So let's see what the this versus the backdoor. Okay. Backdoor. This can have two different meanings. The original term backdoor referred to troubleshooting and developer hooks into systems. During the development of a complicated operating system or application, programmers add backdoors to maintenance hooks. These backdoors allow them to examine operations inside the code while the program is running. The second type of backdoor refers to the gaining access of a network and inserting a program or utility that creates an entrance for the attacker. The program may allow a certain user to log in without a password or gain administrative privileges. A number of tools exist to create a backdoor, such as a backoffice, which has been updated to work with Windows Server 2003 as well as earlier, Sub7, NetBus, and NetDevil. These are and there are many more. Fortunately, most antivirus software will recognize these attacks. Compared to, where's the replay? Replay. These attacks are becoming quite common. This occurs when information is captured over the network. Replay attacks are used for access or modification attacks. In a distributed environment, logon and password information is sent over the network between the client and the authentication system. The attacker can capture this information and replay it later. This can also occur with security certificates from systems such as Karibos. The attacker resubmits the certificate, hoping to be validated by the authentication system and circumvent any time sensitivity. Okay. There was just a question before on this that said that a backdoor was to bypass any kind of authorization. So, but this is most fitting for that one. So I just wanted to make sure I understood the differences. Within the services snap-in, services can be in any state except which of the following. Okay. Started automatically, detached, started manually, disabled. I don't think this detached is even an option. Which technology built into some mobile phones allows for the user to pass the phone close to a receiver to make an electronic payment without the phone touching the NFC. Your iPad has an application that will not stop running. What feature/tool can you use to stop it? Kill, Task Manager, Treason, Force Quit. Task Managers for Windows. I think Treason is Treason? Feature. Nope. Okay. Made up. So it's either kill or force quit. I'm gonna say kill. You kill the app. I don't think you force quit. Force quit would be, but kill would be Linux. Let's say force quit. Okay. Which of the following is not an example of a connector for a standard peripheral input device? Not an example of a connector for a standard peripheral. Alright. So 1/8 jack, D sub miniature, mini DIN. Let's see. Sorry, I'm gonna get some music back on here. Hopefully this isn't too distracting. Okay. Mini DIN. Okay, so standard peripheral unit. USB standard 1/8 jack would be yeah, that's standard for audio. D sub miniature. So it's between mini DIN or D sub miniature. I'm gonna go with D sub miniature. Multimedia input devices, not standard input devices. Use 1/8 jack. Standard input devices include human interfaces such as keyboards and mice. Other three options can be used for such devices. Okay. So 1/8 is not considered. Isn't that for, yeah. Oh, for input devices. Okay. So this would be considered output. I mean, you could be inputting audio too, like a mic. Come on now. But okay, I get it. A user on your network wants to be able to draw images on its screen and have the laptop capture them. What type of device does he need? So he wants to be able to draw images on the screen and have a laptop capture them. Digitizer, capturer, I think is made up. Inverter, it's for power. Touchpad, I mean, he could touch the pad, but it's not gonna be on the screen, so it'd be a digitizer. What type of E stand? What does the E stand for in eMMC? I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. MMC. I'll go with card. Okay, so multimedia card, right? E. Damn, I'm gonna have to kind of cheat. Embedded? Okay, so the E in eMCC stands for embedded. Multimedia card memory cards were modified to be able to be embedded on circuit boards or small inexpensive devices. The eMMC module acts as a solid-state form of secondary storage, performing similar functions to HDDs and SSDs of larger, more expensive systems. Okay. So MMC multimedia card. Gotcha. You are currently in a Linux terminal session and in the directory home, documents, smell, which command will take you to home, documents, so one back, right? And you're in Linux. Double dot. What is the minimum recommended memory for a 64-bit installation of Windows 7? 2 gigs. What key combination can you use to bring up Spotlight from within an app? Okay, so that's Spotlight in Mac OS. Don't use it much, so space command, control shift, option tab. Ooh, totally don't know. This is gonna be a pure guess. Option. Okay, so I don't think it's command space. Control shift. I don't think that would do anything. So it's between option tab and alt home. Home would be pretty extended. I don't think they would make it that. But then option tab. I'm gonna go with alt home. Wow, okay. Command space. So the command space sequence is used to access Spotlight from within an app. Okay. Which of the following resolutions is an example of 16 by 10? Okay. Damn. Resolutions is in my list, right? Yeah, video resolutions. Which of the following resolutions is an example of 16 by 10? Okay, the only thing I can think of off the top of my head is it's gonna be kind of one of those weird ratios. Alright, 16:9 is normal. So 16:9 would be more normalized. So it's not those two or even these three. I'd go with this one. Okay. So dividing 16 by 10 produces a value of 1.6. Dividing the first number of a 1610 resolution by the second number always results in 1.6. Okay. Resolutions with 4:3 aspect ratio produce the value 133, while 5:4 resolutions such as 1280 by 1024. So dividing the first number of a 16 by 10 resolution by the second number always results. Oh. Okay. So if we do divide the first number, so that's 1920, divided by the second number, 1200. Ooh. Okay, I'm learning something. So 800 divided by 600, 333, so that's a 4:3 ratio. Oh! Cool, I learned something. Sweet. Which of the following programs can be considered anti-malware? System Watchdog, none of the above, Windows Defender, Windows Monitor, Windows Defender. Which of the following allows you to register and unregister modules and controls for troubleshooting purposes? So, unregister and register modules for troubleshooting. Modules for troubleshooting. So system file checker, I don't think is that. I don't think it's fix boot or fix NPR, so it has to be this one. Okay, allows you to register and unregister modules and controls for troubleshooting pub. Okay. Which of the following wireless communication methods has an operational range of 1 meter and a viewing angle of 30 degrees? So, viewing angle, it would have to be infrared for it to be viewed, because Bluetooth, WiMAX, satellite wouldn't have to be viewed from a specific angle. Let's see what satellite signals can travel from the surface of the Earth to a small metal can orbit. Cool. I was trying to see if that one needed a certain degree, but obviously not. Which socket type is required for an AMD Phenom 2 that uses DDR3 RAM? CPU sockets. It's in my list, right? Nope. Somehow it's not. Okay, so this is going to be a straight guess. Phenom 2 sounds pretty old, and I know that AM3 and 2 are newer, so I'm gonna go with socket 940. Huh, okay. This processor requires AM3 socket. The only other version of Phenom 2 was for the AM2 Plus, and is not compatible with DDR RAM. Okay. Besides 802.11 standards, which wireless communication method works in the 2.4 GHz range? It's a good question. I don't think it's infrared. I'm thinking of like what other wireless communications interfere with like Wi-Fi, right? Really don't think it's infrared and Bluetooth. I'm debating between satellite and cellular. I don't think cellular would be on the same Wi-Fi thing, would it? Screw it, I'm going cell. Bluetooth. Okay, I need to know all of these then. Gigahertz. Just kind of skimming to see if there's a list. Phone. Using wired phones, which do not transmit. Using cordless phones, do not use. That do not. Okay, what? Cordless phones and baby monitors. Bluetooth. Car alarms. Microwave ovens, I need that one. Video devices. Amateur radio operators. Okay. Video senders typically operate using an FM carrier to carry a video signal from one room to another. For example, satellite or closed-circuit TV. These devices typically operate at a continuously low power. Okay, so these little Wi-Fi boxes. Alright, but it's Bluetooth. Understood. In which network design do users access resources from other workstations rather than from a central location? Okay, so in which network design do users access resources from other workstations? Okay. So, star by definition is a central location, so no. Client server, that's obviously from one to one. So it's either ring, peer-to-peer would be one to one, so it would have to be ring. What? Oh, duh, okay. I was considering every peer, like if it was going to be like its own server or whatever, right? So a peer-to-peer network has no servers, so all of the resources are shared from various workstations on which they reside. This is the opposite of a client-server network, in which the majority of resources are located on servers. I'm about to get half right, half wrong. This is not good. Which of the following Windows command line utilities is used to verify the route of a data packet? Takes tracer. After the installation of a Windows Vista operating system, what is required in order to curb software piracy? I just did this one before. Activation. What might cause your display to appear in a 640 by 480 resolution? Oh, safe mode I think goes to the lowest one, right? Yeah, it uses a standard VGA driver to control the graphics adapter while you're in safe mode. Another reason for defaulting back to standard VGA is that you might have a corrupt or incorrect driver. Which printer contains a wheel that looks like a flower with raised letters and symbols? The daisy wheel. That dot matrix, let me look that up. Dot matrix. Let's see. Dot matrix printing. I want to see one. Yeah, it's one of those big ones. Ooh, I've never seen a print head up close. So, daisy wheel. Cool. Which of the following display interfaces is equivalent to a DisplayPort with PCIe added in? So DisplayPort, pushing video and audio, and with PCIe, so I'm assuming data? So Thunderbolt. Intel and Apple collaborated on Thunderbolt to add PCIe to Visa's DisplayPort to make the resulting interface smaller and less expensive to connect. Cool. Which of the users one of the users you support has a Windows 7 laptop that continues to shut down and restart spontaneously. What should you try first? Disable the sleep settings for hibernation. Reinstall Windows 7. Begin disabling drivers one by one until you find the culprit. Swap the motherboard. Disable the sleep settings for hibernation. So it's not it's not hibernating. It just shuts down and then restarts. Reinstall Windows 7. That's the last thing you want to do. Swap the motherboard. Laster thing you want to do. Begin disabling drivers. Yeah, I mean it has to be a driver that's just like making it mess up, right? Check the sleep settings for hibernation and disable those first to see if it makes a difference. If not, then you can begin disabling drivers and making other changes. But the hibernation would put it... Dude... no. With which iPhone version was the Lightning connector introduced? Good question! I think the 4 was the last one with it, so I'm gonna say 5. What type of backups are kept on site at the computer center for immediate recovery purposes? Working copies, judicious copies, journal copies, man in the middle. So what kind of backups are kept on site at the computer center for immediate recovery? Let's say working copies. Working copies. Type of backups. Working copies. I want to see what the different ones are. Kept on site. Okay, so working copies or backups kept on site. Windows 7 includes a feature called Blank, which is a copy of your system configuration that can be used to roll back the system to a previous state and a configuration error occurs. A restore point. PowerShell script files are based on which programming network.net? I've learned a little bit of PowerShell, so I was familiar with that. You are manually configuring a TCP IP host from another. Hold on one second. Make sure. Okay. So you're manually configuring a TCP IP host. Another administrator gives you the router's IP address. What type of TCP IP default gateway? Yep. The router is your doorway out into other networks, and it is known as TCP IP terms. Okay, now we're learning. So look at that bar. Not bad, but not good. Let's learn though. One of the users you support has a Windows 7 laptop that continues to shut down and restart spontaneously. What should you try first? Disable the sleep settings for hibernation. Even though I don't agree with that, but whatever. In which network design do users access resources from other workstations rather than from a central location, peer-to-peer? I should have known that one, honestly, but... Besides 802.11 standards, which wireless communication method works in 2.4? Bluetooth. Satellite. Communications range. I'm curious. 12 to 18 gigahertz. Wow. Okay. Which socket type is required for an AMD Phenom 2? So AMD Phenom 2 was AM3 or AM2 Plus. Which of the following ratios is an example of 16:10? So that's 1.6, right? I'll do the math. I know it was 1920 by 1200. To verify, 1920 divided by 1200 should give me 1.6. There we go. Cool, I learned that today. What key combination can you use to bring up the spotlight? Space and home or something like that, right? Command plus space. Which of the following is not an example of a connector for a standard peripheral? 1/8 jack, I guess. Even though I disagree. You have enabled Wi-Fi calling on your new mobile device and you're switching over to cell. What happens to your call if your cell goes out, right? So it seamlessly switches over, supposedly. Don't have experience with that. Which versions of Windows 8 include Windows to Go Enterprise? Officially, only Enterprise has Windows to Go. A computer using which of the following would be considered a legacy device? Choose all that apply. Everything but the 1 gig of RAM. Even though legacy device, it should specify software and hardware on that, to be completely honest. Because device, when I think of device, I think of the actual hardware. Transmitting at 10 gigabits per second. How far can signals on a multi-mode fiber cable travel? 550 meters. Which of the following is a socket technology that is designed to ease insertion of modern CPUs? As if you are setting up a small network that will not connect to the internet. You want computers to be able to locate each other by using host names. Which service will do this? DNS. Which of the following are universally common items that are synced between mobile device and a larger computer? Look at that, scrolling. If I would have known that. So, email, contacts, and apps. Which of the following statements about dual rail power supplies is least true? Dual rail power supplies are less likely, they're more likely to be overdrawn. Which of the following is possible to do with multi-monitor settings? Don't like the wording, but whatever. You are setting up a small office network for a client. Which internet service would you recommend to provide the best speed? So DSL provides the fastest out of all of these. Your company wants to move to a cloud provider, but wants to move to a cloud provider to be able to scale. So scalability, thinking of public, right? But it is concerned about the security, so you want private. Which of the following types of cloud models would be the most appropriate? So public is for scalability, private for security. You want a little of both, so you want a hybrid. You're not wanting to collaborate with others, so it's not community, so it would be hybrid. What type of expansion slot is preferred today for high-performance graphics adapters? PCIe. Which of the following is not an example of a connector for a standard peripheral input device? 1/8 jack. A computer using which of the following would be considered a legacy device? Choose all that apply. Everything but the 1 gig of RAM. What key combination can you use to bring up Spotlight within an app? Command and space. Which versions of Windows 8 include Windows to Go? Enterprise officially. Which of the following statements about dual rail power supplies is least true? Dual rail power supplies are less likely, they're more likely to be overdrawn. Besides 802.11 standards, which wireless communication method works in the 2.4 GHz range? These are the other ones I wanted to look up. So, cellular, wireless, range. Oops, I misspelled that. Alright. Oh. So this one works in the megahertz range. Standard in the US was amps, which was in the 800 megahertz range. And the Nordic countries, it was based on the 450. Alright. Some European countries and Japan adopted the 900. The GSM standard, which appeared in Europe, initially used 902. As demand grew, carriers acquired licenses for the 1800. Okay, the US, the analog amps use a cellular of 800 megahertz replaced, so it's not even using gigahertz, it's using megahertz. Many GSM phones support these bands: 900, 1800, 1900, or 850, 1800, 1900. Of the four bands, 850, 900, 1800, 1900 are usually referred as to tri-band or quad-band world phones. I'll use 800, but they're all in megahertz. Okay, so let's see what infrared uses. So it uses a visibility spectrum. So then it wouldn't be. Sorry, I'm reading a lot, so I'm probably not talking. So this one can go up to 300 gigahertz. Okay. Gotcha. Alright, so Bluetooth, I know is this one. One of the users you support has a Windows 7 laptop, continues to shut down. Don't agree, but that one. You are setting up a small network that will not connect to the internet. You want computers to be able to locate each other by using host names. So you need to set up your DNS. Your computer wants to move to a cloud provider to be able to scale resources quickly. So scalability and security would be a hybrid cloud. This one is 1920 by 1200. Which of the following are universally common items that are synced between mobile devices? Apps, email, and contacts. You are setting up a small network. Okay, so this one, 56 kilobit, 12 megabit, satellite. I'm gonna say 5. Pry was 1.5 and Bri was 128 kilobit. Which of the following is a socket technology that is used to ease the insertion of modern CPUs? ZIF. In which network design do users access resources from other workstations rather than from a central location? Peer-to-peer. Which socket type is required for an AMD Phenom 2 that uses DDR3? AM3. Which of the following is possible to do with MultiMonitor? Display different parts of your desktop on different monitors. Transmitting at 10 gigabits per second, how far can signals go on an MMF? So, multi-mode 550. You have enabled Wi-Fi calling on your new mobile device. Transferring over to cell. It actually seamlessly switches over to Wi-Fi. Boom! All 11 levels mastered! Awesome. Cool. So we're an hour and a half into the stream. Let's try this test feature. So we're gonna do a test simulator. Let's just do 20 questions. Max of 7 mistakes. Select content. Only do the A+ on this one. Cool. Begin. Which of the following Linux commands will show you a list of running processes? Yes. What is the minimum recommended memory for a 32-bit installation of Windows 7? 1 gig. Which media is susceptible to viruses? Everything. You have been asked to install Linux in a virtual machine on a Windows 8 client. The Windows 8 client needs 4 gigs of RAM, the Linux needs 2 gigs. How much RAM does the system need? Minimum 6 gigs. Upper management has decreed that a firewall must be put into place immediately before your site suffers an attack similar to one that struck the sister company. Responding to this order, your boss instructs you to implement a packet filter by the end of the week. A packet filter performs which function? Prevents unauthorized packets from entering the network, allows all packets to leave, allows all packets to enter, eliminates collisions, prevents unauthorized. Which GPS component is responsible for triangulation? The receiver. Which of the following devices work at layer 2 of the OSI model? I know it's... choose 2. A bridge and a switch. Which Windows Vista feature allows you to recover from an accidental deletion or overwrite? Shadow copy. What type of coaxial cable is recommended for digital television cable signals? RG6. Which of the following is a program? One sec. Alright. Which of the following is a program that runs on top of the OS and allows a user to issue commands through a set of menus? A shell. Which of the following is the name of the graphical interface included with Windows Vista? Arrow. What is the maximum number of physical CPUs supported by Windows 7 Enterprise 2? You are having problems with a video card in one of your computers. Where could you check for troubleshooting information? The video card manufacturer's website. One of your network users has an older laptop with no Bluetooth support. He recently received a Bluetooth headset that he wants to use with the laptop. Which is the following? Do the little adapter. What does a DHCP server need to be configured with to operate properly? DHCP uses a scope. Yeah, scope. Which video technology has a resolution of 1280 by 1240 or 1040? 1024. Wow. This one I only know by memory. I need a. Is that on my list? Video resolutions. I only know this because of the other testing. I think it's SXGA, but I don't know why, which I need to learn. Which communications technology can you use to create a VPN? Cell and Wi-Fi. Which of the following is possible to do with multi-monitor settings? Display different parts of your desktop on different monitors. Spencer has dug out from the closet a legacy machine that is running in Windows XP Professional. Since it's no longer supported, he wants to upgrade it to Windows Vista. Which of the following upgrades is possible? So you're going from XP Pro to Vista. What's possible? Choose two. I think, damn. I think I got this one wrong last time. I think it's everything. I think it's business and enterprise, not ultimate. A customer tells you that a technician from your company who was there on a service call spent 3 hours on the phone making personal calls. What should you do with this information? Talk to the tech personally, nothing, ask the customer to approve it, inform your manager. You don't want to confront him personally, you don't want to do nothing. You don't want to ask the customer to approve it, and then inform your manager. That's what you should go with. You missed one. Which one did I miss? Okay. So I'm gonna add to the list Windows upgrade paths. Okay. So it was ultimate in business, not enterprise. Okay. Hey, not bad. That was like a nice little speed run. Now, what is this here? Strengthen your skills. Question filter. All wrong. Review. Mastered. Bookmarks. Go with wrong. So, I'm trying to figure out what this is. It has a question filter on it. So I don't know if it allows me to go over all the questions I had gotten wrong before. But of what though? You know, like it's just here. And then it goes away. So question filter, wrong. Begin. I'm not sure. Okay. Well, there you have it. All 11 levels. Let me change the title to this one. Plus quick test. Boom. Alright, so all 11 levels have been completed on this application. I really like this app. I really like this app. Next thing I have to do is I have a nice list of all the things that I personally have to study that are just not sticking with me. So I'm going to go through that list. I'm going to study all those little things. Most of it's just memorization. Let me pop it up real quick. For example, network cable speed limits, wireless max speeds, like all those speeds for wireless devices and stuff, cable pins, cable speeds, so anything to do with speeds or little numbers that you have to memorize for specific components and stuff, that gets me. I need to memorize that stuff. OSI and DoD models, I need to memorize that model. Fiber speeds and type of fiber, IP addresses, I need to study up on that right there. Video resolutions, fiber connector types, difference between North Bridge and South Bridge. I have an idea of that now, but I still want to go through it just in case. Broadband tech / digital data channels, so that would be like the BRI and PRI, ISDN and all that. The laser printing process, for some reason that's not sticking with me. I need to figure out the exact process of that. I've been getting better by going through the testing. I've been kind of learning. Windows repair options, cloud provider types, Dualrail power supplies, that's something new that popped up. I need to freshen up on that. CPU type of sockets, that's all memorization. And Windows upgrade paths, just so sometimes I feel like a deer in front of headlights with that, so I need to freshen up on that. So with that list, I'm going to go through in my next stream and go through all of those and learn. So it's probably just going to be me going through a bunch of articles, probably pretty boring, but hey, I'll go ahead and stream it, why not? Maybe someone will get something out of it, they're bored enough to follow through. At the least, it's going to be recorded for me, so I remember what I did. So I'm going to do that next, and then I'm just going to keep on doing the test within this app, and then I'm going to probably find some other tests online, like Professor Messer and all those, and just go ahead and, you know, feel confident enough to go and do my CompTIA once again. I actually did my CompTIA once before. Let me turn down the music a little bit. I actually did my CompTIA once before, back when it was the 801, 802. Now it's the 901, 902. So let's see, CompTIA A+, right? So the A+ certification, I did it a while back ago. I only did the first part, which was the 801 back then, right here. And I actually scored, I believe it was like an 8 something on it, if I remember correctly. It was really high. It was a really high score. I was pretty proud of that. And then I postponed the 902 part. I could have been A+ certified, but due to work and then just me kind of stressing over it, I went ahead and totally just didn't do it, right? So that was a waste of money and time. Well, not really, because a lot of this stuff is kind of a refresher for me now. So as you can see here, The exam description. 901 covers the hardware, peripherals, mobile device hardware is new on the 901. It wasn't there on the 801. Networking and troubleshooting hardware and network connectivity issues. So that's most hardware you can touch kind of stuff and troubleshooting. 902 covers installing and configuring operating systems. So this is the actual configuration of stuff, helping people out, which would be operational procedures. Cloud computing is new on this. I believe they just added it onto the 902. But if it's questions like this, let me see. Yeah, I have that on my list here. Cloud provider types. I think that's what they're focusing most on. So I will be going through my list, like I mentioned. Then we'll go ahead and just find a whole bunch of practice tests and just keep going and just make sure that I know all this stuff. I know the majority of it. I've been doing pretty well on it. I feel pretty confident, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to certain things. So I want to make sure I'm very, very solid in my understanding with all of this. And then I'll go ahead and take my test. And then we could actually move on to the Network Plus, which is the next one I want to go to. And it actually will be easier. Look at that, 10 levels. And then, as you notice, the 901, 902, CompTIA A+, that one has 2 tests, while the Network Plus, you'll notice here, you only have 1. You only have the, where does it show it here? Yeah, see, it doesn't even show you 2. Let me show you here. So it's just the N10-006, where this one is the 22901 and 22902. So this one's separated in 2 parts. This one's 1 part. But the networking, just like it mentions, it's covering the configuration, management, troubleshooting of common wired and wireless network devices. So it's stuff I'm pretty familiar with. I've actually worked hands-on with it, but there is going to be a lot of things I'm probably going to get wrong, because there's a difference between you actually doing things with your hands and working with it in person. It's kind of like muscle memory. You memorize numbers that you need to specifically do a task in that specific job. It just becomes common for you to do things. You memorize certain things, but I know for a fact that I'm going to have issues with the learning IP addresses and subnet mask and all that stuff. For some reason, that stuff didn't stick with me in the past, and I'm really hoping that that does change while I'm learning all this stuff. CompTIA A+, that's actually on my list for the A+. So I just feel like the Net Plus is going to be something that's going to be just amplifying the A+. And then from there, I would like to do the Sec Plus. So for example, let me show you here. This video is kind of getting extended, but I'm just kind of blabbing since I did complete the all the 11 levels for the A+. Kind of just setting up a plan for the future. So let's go to the bottom here. Covers network security. So if I've already learned the networking and all the components and all of the hardware and configuring with the A+, I figure this is taking it one step higher. Compliance and operation security, threats and vulnerabilities, as well as application data and host security. So also included are access control, identify management, and cryptography. So that one, I think, once I have the 3, hold on, I've read somewhere where if you get like the trifecta, they give you like a certain certification. CompTIA trifecta. Maybe it's something that people just made up, but I thought CompTIA gives you something. Let's see what they say. Passed my Sec Plus today to complete my A Plus, Net Plus, Sec Plus trifecta. And I'm looking for some options on what my next option would be. Here's what I have come up with. Pursue ICIL Foundation, Cert ASAP. Pursue ICND. I'm biased towards Cisco. See, everyone goes towards Cisco, CCNA. It's like the most popular one, and I don't disagree. I've actually talked to a lot of business professionals, and CCNA is the one to go to. Everyone's saying, well, if you're Cisco certified, I haven't heard of anyone getting fired for having Cisco certification. It is very, very looked up to, but it is very difficult. Telling you to go Cisco when you're really trying to be a sysadmin wouldn't be really any help if your goal isn't to be a network architect. In my opinion, since you're closely working with exchange management and ITIL, you should probably cert up there first when you decide to branch, where you then decide where to branch to. Okay. Studying CCNA gave me the best skills. I use CBT nuggets as my main source, great video training. I think given the choice, I'd rather have the networking background. Everything boils down to it. CCNA, I feel, will also be the hardest of those listed. The testing logic with Cisco exams have been far much harder than CompTIA and Microsoft Plus. Or Microsoft. I mean, by far a lot harder. Because it's a lot of memorization. Lots of memorization. I have messed around with Cisco because when I was in college, all of our learning was actually kind of geared towards the Cisco certifications. As a matter of fact, if you actually pass the CCNA, like in the middle of the school year, they actually allowed you to just, they gave you the credit for the class if you pass your CCNA. So if I remember correctly, it's just a lot of memorization, just a lot of memorization. Let's see here. I've heard this from our network group. Most of the guys have MS and Cisco certs and have made this claim. Wonder if, okay. I'm by no means bashing the MS certs. They are a lot of work and no doubt about that. I just think Cisco testing logic is harder. I'll be completing my trifecta later this month. I just decided to take the CCNA courses starting next year. I want to get at least my CCENT by mid-year. Also, depending how extensive this course is, I really want to do a Microsoft exam. Not sure which one yet, though. I thought about doing CISIP, but that will have to wait until after CCNA. I think I saw that one in here, right? Nope. Okay. Actually, I think the CCNA would benefit a sysadmin, server admin type more than the MS certs would benefit a network person. So you have to decide on what you want to do. Networking, or you just want to be an administrator. Okay. See what Reddit has to say. Just got back from passing Sec Plus. This means I've completed the CompTIA trifecta, A Plus, Net Plus, and Sec Plus in under 5 weeks. Wow. Study materials were U-certified from my school, Exam Compass, Crucial Exams, and of course Professor Messer videos. Having an extensive background in IT, it was the biggest help to accelerate through them, though. As an IT professional, may I ask what the general consensus of CompTIA certs are out on the field? I'm trying to, yeah. So that's what everyone has a question on. Is like, how is it looked upon out on the field? Personally, I feel the certs are good for entry-level positions. Above that, you need real-world experience. However, the certs are good to get past HR screeners who are looking... That, oh my gosh, yes. That right here. Get past HR screeners. All of... Me and my friend, actually, were just talking about this stuff not too long ago. I have applied to multiple jobs. I actually have... I have an associate's degree in network security. So I have a nice foundation on all of this stuff. A+, Net+, I've just been putting it off. Some of these questions are all memorization kind of stuff that I'm getting wrong. I have the general knowledge, and I've used it in real world, because I actually, on top of that, have 5 years of hands-on experience in a data center. And then overall, I have 10 years of just general computer knowledge. And that, for some reason, HR screeners don't look at that. They're just like, they go down and they try to see if you have any certifications, if you have any kind of anything. You know how there's always that section in your resume where you have certifications, awards, community outreach, all that stuff, right? That's all they look at. You can write a cover letter. You can spew your heart into that, you know, with the cover letter and all that stuff, and they don't care. Like, if they don't see any certifications, like if they're putting you against some kid that's just getting out of college and their teacher forced them to do their certification, or, you know, that kid maybe did it on his own. I'm not bashing it, you know, 100%, good for you, but it just sucks that they would choose that kid that has actually no hands-on experience, just knows how to test, over the guy that has the knowledge. And I'm pretty sure that I lost 2 positions from that. So that's why I'm trying. A lot of people are like, this is all a waste of time. I get you, you know, I get it. One of my last streams, someone came in and they're like, oh, CompTIA is a piece of crap, you know, CCNA is the way to go. I don't argue that. The thing that I argue is that all these, just like right here, get past HR screeners. I guarantee you, if they see CCNA on it, they'll be like, oh my gosh, we need this guy right away. Totally get that. But for me, it's a matter of confidence. I need to boost my confidence, because I've been postponing me doing the A+ for the longest time. I have postponed doing the Net+ for the longest time. I know I can do them. I just want to do them right. I want to do them really good, to the point where I pass with flying colors. Like, I want to get a really high score and pass. So it's just a matter of confidence. And plus, I assure you, if someone sees me with the CompTIA A+, Net+, Sec+, and a CCNA, no doubt I'm getting a job, like, immediately. It's just stuff I've been putting off for way too long. It's been stuff that I've been needing to have under my belt by now, but I've just been putting off because I don't time manage right. I don't do what I'm supposed to, and it's all a mental thing right now. So I think this will all give me the confidence. CompTIA A+, Net+, and Sec+. I just need to get over the fear of failing. But yeah, Wolfador, getting past HR screeners, I could not agree with you more. I've been mulling taking the Sec+ exam for this reason alone. I wonder how much it actually helps though. I just blindly look for practice tests I found online. Keep scoring about 65 to 70%, but some of the questions make me shake my head. For example, a question I had about RAID 0 appeared on one of my practice tests that has nothing to do with security. Well, makes me really question the usefulness of this test to non-seasoned IT professionals. It worked out to about 1 week as cert/test. There was a 1 week period where I took another class for school. I train into work, so it gave me about 40 minutes each day to watch Professor Messer videos. I did some of my crucial exams when I had free time on my phone. For Sec+, since there were so many videos, I mostly skimmed them, listening for things I didn't know. Yeah. So that's what it is. I know that was a huge rant on it, but it's kind of the life I'm living right now. I'm trying to get past these HR people, And I know that if I have my A plus, Net plus, Sec plus, and I go in there, that will give me so much confidence. Even if I don't have my CCNA, like I would be over the moon if I had all these certs, because I would go in there confident as hell, going, hey, I have all 3 CompTIA A plus certifications that are sought after, A plus, Net plus, and Sec plus. That'd give me all the confidence in the world. And if they ask me, oh, well, why don't you have your CCNA? Well, I'm working towards that one. I just want to see where it takes me. Because I can work on networks and stuff, but currently I don't want to have the responsibility of having to manage... Oh. Hold on. Sorry. My fan likes to go crazy sometimes when I bump into it. Can't even see the switch. But yeah, that's my rant. It's all confidence. I am not very confident, and this is what this is all leading to. So, I appreciate you for tuning in. If somehow you made it all the way through my rant, and if you agree with me, please leave me a comment. I really want to start a conversation with someone that is going through this, and if no one comments, that's cool. I have this as a little reminder of where I was at in 2017. So I will see you on the next one. It's going to be recapping and all that good stuff. It's probably going to be here in a couple minutes, so I'll see you then.